Per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. Let's take a look at some alts. We had quite an overnight session in the bond market, which likely pushed Trump and co. to back down on tariffs. The issue with the bond market imploding is it was going in the opposite direction yield-wise that their stated goal was, whether this was Japan selling, China selling, basis trade, selling, whatever. It was going in the wrong direction, and it was going in the wrong direction very quickly. Similar to the Liz Truss situation. It's just whoever, bond vigilantes, we can make up a narrative. Doesn't really matter. That certainly helped push things over in a tariff détente for now, a tariff pause for a 90-day period. This is also seeing reactions on the high yield bond side. Everybody was freaked out. Volatility was high. We're back, right? So HYG is like the altcoin of the bond market. Junk bonds, high yield debt type stuff. Looking at the VIX, VIX also got crushed way down. I'm just showing this stuff first because this is the type of condition we need. We need low vol, high liquidity periods for alts to do best. So it is a step in the right direction. Certainly, I don't think we quite have full QE yet. I think the Fed in May may signal an end to QT completely. But for full bore alt season, we want VIX sub 20 like it was in the quiet periods. So we're not quite there yet. Dominance hit a new closing high, a new multi-year closing high. It's still in bull territory. You're going to have people coming out today, I guarantee you, saying, this is a shooting star, this is it, this is the top. Okay, whatever you want to say. It's real simple. You just wait till this rolls over, and then you can focus on alts. Ideally, it happens slow, like it did back here. That way, you don't really miss much. But this still favors BTC quite heavily, despite the reactions we're seeing from alts today. This is total 2 over BTC. And yes, if anything, it is extremely oversold. But it's been extremely oversold most of the way down. Not a resounding buy here by any means. Still looks very bearish on trend. Now this is the 3-day. You could watch it on the daily. You could watch it on the 4-hour. But my guess is those timeframes would be very noisy and the signal would not be very clear. This is total 2. For most of the alts, you're probably going to see something similar here where you get this very dramatic decline resembling like a smushed inverted head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. You don't have a bullish ticket across yet. You don't have a higher high yet. You don't have anything. It is oversold. I'm sure there's a div on this. You have all that stuff. But again, is this like a slam dunk trend flip? Not really. Not yet. This could lead to that, but I think we're a ways away from that. What I'd want to see is this to base out a little bit for the next week or two. It doesn't need to be 6 months, but a little bit of time probably needs to pass here to fully exhaust the sellers, the emissions, the inflation. We'll take a look at ETH BTC. That chart also continues to look pretty parabolic and tragic. And just to break this up a little bit, this is watchcharts.com. Just like to see where the retail money is flowing. This has made a new low, trying the bottom. It's similar to alts, right? These have just been bleeding for years at this point, right? Post-pandemic boom, stimmies, money everywhere, then money gets tighter. And here we are. And there will be a time on one of these videos where we'll say, oh, look, this made a higher high. This made a bottom. Guess what? Alts look similar. I'm guessing we're getting closer to that, but we're certainly not there yet. We're not there yet. This is EBTC. It is getting to the point where it can't really go down much faster. Now, there's nothing that says this has to be the bottom. Last time we were down here, it took 2-3 years to bottom. This whole structure was the bottom. So are we going to see a V recovery here? I doubt it. Are we going to see a U-shaped recovery here? Maybe. We don't have a bullish TK across yet. You're not above the 10-kin. You're not above the 20-week. This is potentially a dragonfly, basically the inverse of the dominance chart for BTC. You've had plenty of that on the way down. Many times here, you've had spinning tops and dragonflies that have failed. One way to play this would be to just say, okay, there's the low. That's my stop loss. And I'm going to start buying. That's one way to do it. Don't know how that's going to work out, but I will admit it is extremely oversold. So I will give you that. I wouldn't want to sell into this, just as you wouldn't want to buy an inverse version of this chart, a parabolic advance, basically buying Palantir at the top, right? Just doesn't make sense. So it makes more sense to be a buyer than a seller. It's just the fundamental issues of ETH, BTC, ETH versus other alts are the bigger problem here relative to the technicals, which are obviously a bit of a dumpster fire. Similar to HYG, ARK is the altcoin of legacy. It's got all sorts of fun stuff in here, and it has bounced decently back into bullish territory on the weekly. Still a bit of a mess here on trend. You could say, well, maybe there's a diagonal support here. I don't know. Kathy was buying coin hand over fist over the past couple of days, so that certainly helped her out a little bit here. And if we look at total 2 versus coin, a lot of these videos is trying to speak to like what I want to be trading, where do I have my money, as well as what other people are asking me. Other people are asking they want to trade alts anywhere. One way to do that would be to find similar analogs to alts that behave like alts. The Coinbase chart, coin, relative to total 2 is very tight on the correlation. So if you're bullish alts here, if you're bullish total 2, one way to express that view would be to start longing coin. If you're bearish alts, you want to stay away from coin, but it's important to understand what Coinbase stock equity behaves like. It behaves like total 2. That's what it behaves like. So if you don't like that, probably not for you. Some leverage stuff here, BITU, 4 hour, again, shoulder, head, shoulder. Maybe you're getting something here eventually. It's a little early. Would love to see a higher high. Would love to see bullish tick cross. Would love to see price in cloud. Would love to see anything over the neckline, the diagonal there. It's a little early. It's a little early. We'll see what it looks like into the weekend into next week, but it's a little early. Excellent bounce across the board. Obviously, MSTR, huge bounce today. I think it's up something like 25% on the day. Just wild. On the 4 hour, it looks better. We'll see if it can get back above the cloud. Bullish TK cross, bullish cloud, right? I mean, it's always the same thing. Nothing ever changes here. That's the beauty of the trend overlay system. You're always looking for the same thing. So this has a shot, like most things do, and we'll see. I like it better above the cloud. I like it better above the midpoint of the pitchfork. Target doesn't change, hasn't changed. It is the top of the range, full stop. Just like it was the top of the range for the pitchfork back here when it broke out. It is what it is, right? We got huge tailwinds to help push us there quickly post-election. BTC price went bonkers. I don't care what the catalyst is this time. It doesn't matter. You're going to have people seeing all sorts of fun stuff like they did at 560 plus back here. They're going to see all sorts of fun stuff back here. If we get there, not a promise, not a call, just waiting on, can this get back above the 4 hour? I like to talk about the leverage stuff in the alt videos because that's basically what alts are. Alts are just leveraged BTC. This is leveraged ETH, ETHU. Again, 4 hours just been turbo bearish for months. So maybe give it a week or two, but not quite there yet on leveraged ETH. This is coin against MSTR. Some of this relative value pair stuff is fun. This is basically ETH BTC, right? In a way. And there's your answer. It's been bearish since the beginning of the year. It has never really been bullish. So maybe if you're a coin enjoyer, pay attention to this chart because there might be a better way to express your bullishness, right? We can look at MSTR relative to Solana. It's the same story. MSTR continues to beat the pants off Solana performance-wise. So why torture yourself unless you're super tribal and love Solana? That's fine. But MSTR is where the alt season is happening. A closer analog to like leveraged BTC, leveraged alts might be MSTR Hood. These seem to be pretty comparable, basically flat since beginning of 2024. So maybe that's another pair trade to watch. Not as obviously anything here, bearish or bullish, and maybe as an oscillator idea if one of these takes off relative to the other. And maybe you're selling some MSTR to buy Hood or vice versa, right? Just something else to chew on. And then, of course, there's leveraged ETH, leveraged BTC in an ETH BTC trade. And again, it speaks for itself, right? It's been bearish since inception. This has never been bullish and maybe valuable for somebody who doesn't have access to alts directly or wants to look at what leveraged ETH versus leveraged BTC looks like. Still very clearly in BTC's favor. So if we pull up some alt charts here, including BTC, if we go to the daily for BTC, we are still below the cloud, quite the bounce, right? We're up 7.25%, something like that, 8%. If we can hold this level at like 93, that's what the cloud likes. Low time frames are still fairly bearish as far as trend goes. There's a pretty big diag here beyond just these three levels. So anything above 84, 85, 86, 87, right? We need to get closes on the daily above those levels consecutively. So it's great that we bounced. It's great that we're up here. Can we hold this level? We don't want to roll over. And it just feels like the tape, when you watch this stuff overnight into the Asia session, the London session, whatever, there's just mostly selling. You know, it's not a lot of buying going on. It's we pop up and then we sell, then we sell more, then we sell. So it would be nice to see a change in the behavior there. But this diag is certainly very important. I wouldn't expect a miracle. This could easily all fail. And if I'm watching anything on low time frame, it's probably like the 4 hour or this, we'll go to the 6 hour. The 6 hour, you can see we're almost there. Almost there. That's basically the diag. Into next week, if we can curl up a little bit, we don't need 8% every day, but if we can curl up a little bit, BTC will start to look better. But you can see here on the list how happy alts are with BTC being up on the day. Now, alts have been bleeding continuously for a couple weeks now, so it's a nice reprieve for them. Ripple, this is still the chart. You know, I just can't trade this to the long side. This, again, this doesn't have to break down, but it does have to negate this pattern. It did briefly break down, bounced since then, but it still leans bearish. One way to negate this would be to get back above the cloud, the bullish cloud. It's just that that's going to take a long time. That's going to take probably months, probably into Q4, I'd imagine. If we see some sort of movement on an ETF, it might do decently well. We had Paul Atkins confirmed on the House or Senate today. He's the next SEC chair, very pro crypto, but this has been sideways since November. So it's really not for me, just a massive giant range. ETH tapped 1384, 1384, still very much oversold, not above the Tenkin, the blue line there. Low time frames, 4 hour. Is there anything? Maybe a W, maybe an eventual inverted head and shoulders. Is there anything here that I would want to trade personally? No, I wouldn't. We're still very much in this down channel downtrend. Could this be the bottom? Yeah, it could be, just like it could have been at 2,500 and 2,100 and 1,840. And now we're here at 1,300. Sure, I don't know. Could be, hasn't been, right? Is that where you want to take a trade? Me, no, not really. This may close as a dragonfly at the end of the week. The determiner of a bullish candle will be next week's close. Not this week's close, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. If next Sunday you can get another green candle, that's a better looking chart. But ultimately, look where this is on the weekly. Far below the cloud. Far below the cloud. BTC on the weekly, still above the Kijun. Big and beautiful up there. Not breaking down yet. Solana on the weekly also flirting with a full breakdown on the cloud. Daily, very aggressive, just like ETH. Channel all the way down there. And it's not quite out of the woods. Now, you'd like to think this was the bottom. If there's ever a reason to bottom, this would be it. But still in a very aggressive downward channel. Briefly hit 95. And you don't really need to guess. You can just, you can nibble, you can wait, you can set stops on new lows, because this has not been able to hold a single low in months. So what's to stop it here? I like this better above 120, above 122. If it can hold some levels here and maybe into the rest of the quarter, we can see some movement once it starts to hold lows, but we're just not there yet. ADA, it bounced, same story, still in a downtrend. SWI, same story. Downtrend, bounced, channel, Tenkin, higher high, right? It's nothing really changes here from chart to chart. Some of these are plus or minus 5% from the others, but ultimately they've all sold off so much that this is just reclaiming basically the past week of down move. So collectively, there isn't really much to do here in my mind. Maybe you're nibbling on stuff you like longer term, but overall, you're not going to see bull trends on low time frames, on high time frames. This is LTC, just completely puked from above 100. Link, also very aggressive downtrend. So all of the alts, for the most part, look exactly the same. We can talk about meme coins. Fartcoin doing the best. Doing the best. It is what it is. It's up 33% today. Certainly doesn't look like the other alts. It's making higher highs. It's breaking out from levels. Couldn't tell you why. Huge volume on this, by the way, relative to everything else. Doge looks like ETH, Sol, Ripple, Cardano, SWI. It's all the same. It's all the same. I want to see higher highs. I want to see prices above the Tenkin. I want to see a 4-hour breakout. I want to see the 4-hour cloud flip. Whatever, right? This is why maybe it's just better off watching some leveraged BTC chart or MSTR than waiting for this stuff. The Pepe edge to edge still on the table. You know, it got a little bigger. Got a little bigger. You can see something like this. But that's the neckline. That's the pattern. Waiting for confirmation. I like nibbling closer to the diag, adding on the breakout of the diag, adding on the bullish TK cross, and then being fully allocated into whatever size position I want once we close inside the cloud with the bullish TK cross. That's going to take weeks. That might take 2 months. I don't know. We're not there yet. It's starting to look better. But this is the trade you don't want to miss if we get it. Back to Fartcoin real quick. If we measure what the, I'm just curious what this would be, 0.86, maybe. Trump, just history of bearishness since inception, nothing to do there. With same story on the 6-hour. Like, yes, again, it's oversold. It's down a lot. Is it Sol beta? Is it ETH beta? I don't know. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. If you liked it at 4, you're going to love it at 40 cents, right? But is it trend bullish? No. Now, if we get liquidity turned on, if rates come down, then alts can do really, really well. Then dominance will roll over, but we're just not there yet. Popcat, same story. So all the alts really look the same to me. There's really nothing different. If we look at Sol BTC, same story. Trying to hold the low, hasn't held the low for a long time. It looks like it's got a low time frame. IHS, maybe? Neckline here. But it's way too early to say that, oh, it's over. We're back. It's all back. Everything's bullish again. ETH BTC, low time frames, just abysmal performance. Ripple BTC, up a bit, but not trending. LTC, BTC, same story. Just a huge collapse since March. Not bullish yet. We're not there. PAXG, that's gold over BTC, rolling over a bit. We like to see that. Do not want to see that breakout. That would be catastrophic for alts if gold breaks out like that. That's kind of it. Some of these charts might have like an ultra high time frame something. I don't know. Is this anything? I don't think so. So yes, alts are up on a relative basis today. Dominance still trend bullish. And we'll see. We'll see what can hold and what can't. Would love to see BTC reclaim higher in the 80s. Love to see it above 90 this quarter. And then we can talk about alts. But I think it's just too early to say, this is it. The bottom's in. We're back. This stuff could just, we don't need to see lower lows. But to say that everything is all bullish again is a little bit silly to me. Much like Pepe, I think the high cap layer 1 trade is probably going to be in Solana if we see it. So I'd pay close attention to that on lower timeframes here. That's all I got for this one. If you like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.